Diet, phase 2, day 64. Mood positive, 90.4 kilograms, 47 resting heart rate. 6.4 to 6.7. Urine pH 7.11 to 8.88. MS urine EC. 125/70 still, same set of everything. Diet wise, I think. No, that was it. Sardines. Yeah, that was it. Feeling good. Losing a little bit of weight, which is fine, due to ramping up on cardio and doing less conditioning, because I mean, at 90 kilos, I could already be doing a really ridiculous intensity workout with some really big weights. So until I do that, there's no point just doing it and getting a lot of unconditioned mass, uncoordinated mass. What you want to do is coordinate that mass, else you just end up like a bodybuilder or one of those people at the gym that thinks doing volumetric workouts makes you strong. Big does not equal strong. I think people are starting to get that through their thick skulls in this day and age. Probably, I think more and more, in my opinion, since mixed martial arts like the UFC and Pride FC and K1 took off, people are starting to realize that you should work more or less within your natural body weight, and that's what will make you strong, as opposed to working up to a ridiculous weight outside your natural limit. I'm not saying that, 90 is even my natural limit. I could be a lot bigger, but just the rate that I ate when I was developing suggests that this is pretty much as big as I get, considering that before I started doing high intensity weight training, I was 73 when I was boxing, a 6'3" middleweight. So you really want to make sure that all you're doing is conditioning your muscles, getting them stronger than they normally were, obviously getting a bit of size into them, which, bigger volume muscle means that it can handle a high intensity, bigger weight. That's just the way it goes. Unfortunately, you can still be strong and be small, but just without even having to use much technique. The bigger the muscle gets, the stronger it gets. That's just the way it goes. So it's a happy medium is what we're fine-tuning in before obviously phase 3, where we really start fine-tuning it. We're already starting to fine-tune it now in phase 2, just without going ridiculous with all the metrics, because it can get really complicated. So all you want to do is get the consistency up with everything first. Get your consistent diet in, get your consistent stretching in, get your consistent joint mobility in, get your consistent biomechanical and postural development. Just doing all these bits and pieces together and getting them down pat as a routine, because that's what you want to do. As most of you know, especially my friends in our age bracket now, but people growing up, hopefully, that are going to watch these videos and someday, it never ends. It never ends. It's never like, I've gotten to this point now, I can just kick back and take the piss and relax. I've gotten to where I need to get. You constantly like the rebuild concept, like a car or a motorbike, that if you use something, it starts to wobble out and you'll have to tune it again. Then you ride it, it'll be, this is perfect, and then you'll lose some power and have to rebuild the engine or something like that. It's just a never-ending battle, but the more consistent you are with it, the less intense you have to go at it all the time. You can just be sitting there like I am, watching the television, laughing it up like a hyena, pumping your grip. You don't think about it in the end. But if you don't forget about it and don't do anything for months at a time, or from an injury perspective like now, or even just because you can't be asked, it's just going to make things a lot harder down the track. And the only reason I've had any decent progress at the moment is because I have been consistent, and obviously banging on here in the diet component, but diet has been one part where I have the easiest progress that anyone I know, because of how serious I've taken my diet over the entirety of my life. A lot of people were just like, I couldn't do that. It's like, good, sucked in, It's like, you should really learn how to do it and have some discipline in doing it. And, unfortunately for me, that discipline is carried over to pill abuse or alcohol abuse, but just as easily as that, I can tune that discipline, switch it off again, else I'd be dead, right? So what you want to do is make sure that even if it's not perfect, as I spoke to one of my mates about diet just earlier before, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be pretty good and consistent. So if you eat more or less what you should be eating every day, then have 2 cheat days a week. Who cares? Like, as long as it's consistent, it doesn't matter. But if you do go hard for a month and then shit for 3 months, then you shouldn't bother even going hard for a month. It's just totally pointless. It's just a waste of time and time wastage. Ah, I hate it, and I know you do too. Else you wouldn't be watching these videos and want to improve yourself. Anyway, I'll bang on some more on the fundamental side, which I'm going to do right now.